Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well today. Today's podcast is going to be about medical marijuana and MS. I've noticed a nice effect of the medical marijuana and cannabis because it helps me sleep. It helps me not be in so much pain. It's an amazing thing. Originally, my doctor, my neurologist prescribed it to me about a couple years ago for my migraines, since I get really bad migraines, and that's another telltale sign of MS is migraines. So I've been smoking the medical cannabis in vape cartridge form. I know, people are a little hesitant about vaping medical marijuana, or any kind of vape for that fact, because they think they have bad chemicals to it and things of that nature. But really, with the medical cannabis, it's under so much scrutiny that it doesn't have the negative effects like you're smoking nicotine or other drugs. But most recently, cannabis has been taken off of the federal list of narcotics, stating that if it's on that list, then that means it's much harder to legalize it. Whereas federal level, they decriminalized it, and they took it off of the Federal Narcotics Act, or whatever it is. I know there's a name for it, a proper name for it, but I can't think of it offhand. But honestly, for it, it's an awesome thing. The only downside is insurance companies don't cover it for medical needs at all. So you got to pay out of pocket for it, but yet the doctor can prescribe it, stating that it's for medical needs. It's like some things are ass backwards if you think of it. It's like, okay, for a while there, doctors weren't willing to prescribe medical cannabis due to issues of that. Which, to me, it's like, okay. But now that it's more and more prescribed, you can have different varying levels of it. Like 20-to-1 ratio, more CBD than THC. The cannabinoids for it. But now, I'm on a 20-to-1 ratio, which is more THC than CBD. Because I've noticed the THC effects have, what's it called? I've noticed it a better outcome for that instead of not having any medical cannabis at all. But I did my research on it first before I suggested it to my doctor. But honestly, I don't claim to be a doctor or anything like that. Yes, I went to school for medical assisting, my associate's degree in that. But if you want to be prescribed it, I suggest you speak to your medical provider about it. Bring statistics and bring information to them. So then if they have any kind of negative answers, you can counteract those negative answers to the positive answers, stating, okay, in this research it stated this percentage rates for helping this, and this kind of a thing. Like for me, on top of the MS, I have anxiety and depression. I have chronic pain, and I also have Asperger's, which is a higher functioning form of autism and things of that nature. So honestly, to me, I've seen real positives with medical cannabis. And the real positives outweigh the negatives. Yeah, you might get a little hungry with the munchies, but hey, I'm not in pain. Or they're like, oh, smoking marijuana is bad, you go to jail. No, you won't. Not if you have your medical marijuana card. And with areas decriminalizing medical marijuana, they're not going to really care if you have a cartridge full of medicine and all that with your medical marijuana. And if they do, let's just say they're barking up the wrong tree if they're doing that. Because to be honest with you, every action has a reaction. Whereas if you treat the police the way you want to be treated when it comes to marijuana, I don't think they can really confiscate it from you if you have a medical weed card. But then again, if you want to be rude to the officer, treat them like crap, I guess they'll treat you like crap. Things of that nature. I've seen so many positives with medical cannabis. I'm a huge advocate for that. You know, if someone needs help with that, I'll be more than happy to help you. And no matter what shape or form I can do that, I'll help in any way, shape, or form that I can. And if I don't know what to do, I'll figure it out somehow. You know, if you need help and you're an MS patient, I'll call the National MS Society for that and call them up and say, hey, do you have any kind of ways of getting this person to speak to their doctors about medical marijuana, other treatments? I read an interesting article yesterday stating that shrooms, magic shrooms can help MS patients to help rebuild the demyelinating that's going on in your brain and things like that. And it might help even reconnect the electrical currents in your brain to help start to repair the myelin sheath that has the exposed wires or the exposed electrons inside your brain. Whereas that, kind of like, let's say you have a cord and it has exposed wires and you have to strip the cord down to get to the normal wiring again to reconnect the current. So basically, you can think of MS and the myelin sheath that has an issue to it with that. So basically, you take that and it can actually help remyelinate the demyelination that's going on. But me, with magic shrooms, I'd have to talk to my doctor about that and really see the pros and the cons of that, honestly. But to be honest with you, it's like I'll stick with the medical cannabis because I'm on a decent amount of meds. I'm not going to lie. There's people out there that are on a good amount of meds. And it's like some meds, yes, you can come off. Other meds, no, you can't come off. But I'm just amazed how the med I'm on, Jelenia, is $8,500 a month, which equals $1,000,000 something a year. Because I did the math a couple months back just to see, and the price went up. It's like I'm amazed how high medication prices have gone. You know, even for insulin. If let's say you need insulin prices are astronomical. You know, it's like a game they play. All right, let's raise the meds, let's lower the meds prices and stuff. Whereas they need to have a custom med price along the board, you know, so people can A, afford it, B, not get ripped off by paying high prices, and C, having better access to medical discount cards to help that. On a website I go on is www.drugs.com. And they have a way where you can put your medication in. Like, let's say you're on gabapentin, let's say. You put in the gabapentin in there, and it'll come up with different prices of different pharmacies, and then it'll give you a coupon to take a percentage off of your prescriptions and things of that nature. And here in upstate New York right now, it's snowing, cold, and it's a good day to stay in and stay warm. Have a cup of coffee or a cup of hot cocoa or whatever you would like to drink. But honestly, my main thing is doctors should be more than willing to hand out medical marijuana before narcotics. Yes, some people might need narcotics to help them out in some kind of way, shape, or form. I'm not knocking those people at all. Every person has their own different ways of needing their medications. Honestly, people should find other ways, like holistically, medically, like take medical massages for instance. I feel that medical massages should be covered under any kind of medical plan that you have. If you pay for the plan, you should be able to add that on. Like, let's say an a la carte, like, let's say you need dental insurance. You can add that onto your plan. Like, what about other things, like add on Reiki, acupuncture, massages, things of that nature for spa services and stuff, to add it extra on to your insurance bill per month, kind of a thing, to add that to people who don't have access to that, but still pay a copay and everything else like that. Not get away with it scot-free, but have it be a cheaper rate. Like, if it's medically necessary, then it should be covered. But with the type of insurance I have, I tried to do it, and they don't consider it medically necessary, but yet my doctor says I should get it. So really, what do? Is it worth fighting over that with the insurance company? Just have the insurance company send you letters stating we can't cover it. If you want to file a grievance, you can, but it's going to take weeks to do that. And then, excuse me, once you file the grievance and everything, then they got to go and talk to their medical team of people to, to see if the doctors want to cover it for you. And then your doctor goes and calls in to the meeting to fight for you as the patient. So there's a lot of things that can be improved upon with the health insurance companies. But I totally understand that insurance companies have to make money somehow. They just can't give out free services and things of that nature. But honestly, I feel the insurance companies should help in some way, shape, or form for medical marijuana. There's been studies out there that medical marijuana has helped with a lot of things, from seizures to pain to cancer patients, to help them if they have not a very good appetite. And medical marijuana can stimulate appetite. It can also help with cognitive thinking if it's a certain strain of the medical cannabis, with the indica and the sativas. And then there's the Delta 8 that's out now that's supposed to cut out the the Delta 8 is supposed to cut out the anxiety of it and the depression form of it with the Delta 8, the certain strain of the medical marijuana. Then there's the terpenes of it, which is the substrains of them, I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, please don't hesitate to correct me at all in the comments, because I'm more than willing to learn about it. If you're willing to help, go ahead, And if you want to email me, like topics and things like that, email me at dfeickert25@gmail.com. And you can email me any topics that you would like me to speak about. I'll research the topic, and then I'll talk about the topic anywhere from 20 minutes or less, if not a little longer, depending on the topic. But I find it very interesting with the MRIs to go every year to check and see if your MS is progressing, if it's the same, no new lesions, which I just had a MRI back in July of last year, I think it was. And it says no new lesions, which is awesome. Which I'm more than happy about to get that kind of news. That means the Gilenya is helping, which is a disease-modifying medication, which they call it a DMT, a disease-modifying treatment. And Gilenya has been successful for me the past couple years, knock on wood. And I hope that it stays that way also with that. Because then, if it stops working, then we have to go back to the drawing board and be like, okay, what other med do we want to do? Like, what other kind of pill or infusion do we want to do with this? Because I refuse to do Copaxone, because that medication burned really bad going in my leg. They wanted me to do it in my thigh, in my stomach, or my arm. And that med was... That med was a nightmare. I'm not knocking it, saying, oh, no, don't take it. But if that medication helps you, take it. It's ultimately up to you, your doctors, and your team of doctors. Depending on if you have a team of doctors, whatever you feel that it's necessary to do. Hey, it's all about your doctors and your team. And if you don't feel comfortable with your doctors or your team, look for another doctor. Nothing says you can't look for another physician. And if they say you can't, they're full of shit, basically. So you should go on Google or call the the National MS Society. Go on Google, search top doctors in your area. I've relied on the MS Society a good amount. They've sent me cooling packs for the summertime. I'm a part of a couple research studies for MS. They send me surveys in my email every 6 months to a year, kind of a thing. And then I have the Gilenya Go program call me less frequently now that I've been on the med for a while. But when they do call, they ask me, have you had any issues on the med? Do you need help getting your prescription filled? We need to call your doctor to say, hey, you need a refill on the Gilenya. Can you do that for him? But I've been doing well on the Gilenya. But before I went on the Gilenya with my first dose, I had to sit at the doctor's office for an hour or so to make sure that my heart was okay, because you have to do an EKG. You have to be monitored throughout the day to make sure you don't have any heart issues with it, because it can make your heart beat faster than normal. It can affect your blood pressure, too, a bit. It can increase the blood pressure. So, the first ones helped a lot. And the doctor felt comfortable with doing a full-fledged script for me. And my doctor for MS he's awesome. He knows his shit. That's for sure. He does. He truly knows it. And it's a wonderful thing to have a great doctor on your side for MS. I'm just afraid the day he retires, trying to find another doctor. But here, there's a local hospital here called Buffalo General Hospital that has an MS clinic just dedicated to MS patients. And they have neuropsychologists on hand. They have nurse practitioners, PAs, doctors. But I'm still doing my research on that. So when the date comes, or if the day comes, hopefully not anytime soon, because I really enjoy the doctor that I have down. It took a little bit of trial and error, but I found a doctor that I liked. And that's the key thing, to have a good relationship with you and your doctor, so then you can say, hey, doctor, I'm not feeling that great. What should we do? Is it a relapse where we need to do the infusions, or is it something else where we have to figure it out? Whereas with me, I can tell when I'm having a relapse. I tend to get the MS hug, which feels like you're getting hugged really, really tight. I get usually pain in my left eye because I had optic neuritis, which you have to be very careful of. And that was one of my first telltale signs of being diagnosed with the MS. Other telltale signs for me is I get my joints hurt, my fingers hurt, my legs hurt, my toes hurt. Whatever has a joint on it starts to hurt. So I know it's like, okay, I got to call the doctor to get in for an infusion, because pill form doesn't help me. It needs to be the strong Medrol 1,000 milligrams for the 3 days to really kick it out of my system. But everyone's different when it comes to their MS treatments. And and I'm also a huge proponent on counseling sessions with a good psychologist, because there's some days where you're happy, other days where you could be sad, mad, glad. And there's good rates of depression also in MS, and anxieties and things like that, because you get scared. You're like, oh, geez, what's going on? Why am I scared? Because when I first got diagnosed, I'm not going to lie, I was upset and scared. And it was around Christmas time too. And Christmas is supposed to be a happy time for families and things like that. Not like scared, like, okay, what do we need to do to figure this out, to be in a better mindset and things of that nature. But when it comes to doctors, you might have to do trial and error. You might have to go to another area of your state to go find the doctors. If that's the case, then that's totally fine. That shouldn't be a big issue, honestly, because, well, yeah, it might be with travel restrictions and things of that nature, but you go where you're most comfortable going and where you will find the best treatments out there. Because it seems like there's new treatments coming out yearly or daily or monthly. I've seen medical trials to try and come out with new medications for MS. But the true question is that I've seen, should there be a cure to MS? Well, yes and no. Yes, because of the symptoms and things that you have to deal with, but no, because that makes you a unique person to help other people out there in the world. Like me, I love to help others. I'm a part of a self-advocacy group where I get services and things like that, and we learn how to speak for yourselves and how to speak for others that can't speak for themselves. And it's an awesome, awesome self-advocacy group. And we welcome many different people, that have different disabilities, different health issues, different ethnicities, different cultures. That's the great thing about it with the self-advocacy group. You can definitely help with other topics, and I'm also on a subcommittee for a board with my local municipality here that we help to make sure that it's American with Disabilities Act accessible, and if there's issues around the area, to let them know, so then we can, as a subcommittee of their board, can do that and help others with that, which is great. That makes me happy to be a part of that. And I'm also on the Developmental Disabilities Planning Council through the Governor's Board in my area here too. And that's huge too. We help with grants. We help with systemic and system change. We do a lot of things with that too. We help with grant money, putting out grant proposals. I've even graded some of the grants. It's interesting with the different things you can do with that. I've learned so much with that, and I've even been on the board of directors of my local agency where I get services also, and that opened my eyes to a lot of things too, like how a board works, what you can and cannot speak about. I go by the mindset of what you see here stays here, which basically means you're protecting yourself from any kind of HIPAA regulations or any kind of rules broken. Because when you're part of a board, you cannot talk about financial stuff. You cannot talk about executive sessions. It's basically a real interesting thing, but you have to be very careful of what you say. Because if you say something wrong, you can be in a whole shitload of trouble then. And honestly, it's been a great ride for 35 years, and I hope to live a long time from now. In my 80s, 90s, and being like, oh, do you remember when I used to do that podcast for the MS and everything? Oh, yeah. And then if I become an uncle, hopefully one day, I'll be the type of uncle that'll teach the kids how to accept people for no matter what they are. If they have disabilities or if they don't have disabilities. How to, be more inclusive, people first language, things of that nature, to teach them and take them to the movies and spoil them a little bit. Yeah, their mom and dad might not be too happy about that, but hey, I'm just the uncle, I'll be the cool uncle, with my brothers and stuff like that. And it's really interesting the things you can learn about different topics when it comes to MS or learning disabilities or anxiety, depression, meditation, tea, coffees, and stuff like that to help you. It's awesome with what I've read. What I'm still and things like that. But I'm going to get off of here. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace, love, and respect. And if you have any other topics you'd like me to speak of, don't hesitate to email me. And have a great rest of your week. Thanks. Bye.